if you want to make meaningful connections, if you want to find a way to link into communities and actually have that connection be felt and not just seen, but then you actually have to physically be in the community and you have to be doing things that are going to make an impact. So our answer to the brief was that when you take hunger off the table, the possibilities are endless.
Well, hello there, people of the internet. Coming to you live from the internet, this is the MMA Group Chat, a vodcast brought to you by the MMA Youth Board. I am your host for the day, Anesu Malisa, aka the Black Sparrow. And the MMA Group Chat is all about inspiring fellow marketers by getting a behind-the-scenes scoop of some amazing campaigns that you've probably seen in and around you. And more specifically for Season 1, we're going to be focusing on SMARTIE award-winning campaigns. SMARTIES award-winning campaigns. And throughout the season, I won't be the only host. You also get to see our amazing youth board chair, Takalani, who's also going to be hosting, and other youth board members as well. And so today, to kick things off for episode 1, we're going to be covering one of the award pillars for SMARTIES, because as mentioned, the focus for season 1 is SMARTIE award-winning campaigns. And the first one going to be covering purpose-driven marketing, and this award was for diversity and inclusion. And joining us, all right, is an amazing individual from Hellosquare, the team behind Kasi Heroes for Albany Bakeries. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't you help me welcome the amazing Jade Carlisle.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Apparently I'm the first person and the first marketer, so happy days.
Let's just jump straight into it. Kasi Heroes, right? Describe to us what was the brief and what is the problem. Woo, there goes my English. What is the problem you were trying to solve for?
So Kasi Heroes is a campaign that we worked with our brand Albany Bakeries. And it really started out as quite a simple purpose brief that developed into a much bigger impact partnership, which spanned over a year, working with local community organizations. So, I mean, Kasi Heroes really talks about heroes within the community. So people who are actively doing good work and really, I guess, they are the heroes. And we are, in this instance, really looking to strengthen ties with the communities. And so for us, it was really important to actually connect with them. And they are the heroes of the story. They're the heroes of the campaign. And so that for us was a really important part of this job.
Amazing. And how did the idea for this particular campaign come about?
So I think the idea was really based around the fact that if you want to make meaningful connections, if you want to find a way to link into communities and actually have that connection be felt and not just seen, because remember, there's advertising, there's traditional advertising, which is what we as consumers will see on a day-to-day basis. But what you're asking people to do is to feel something for your brand. You're asking them to feel your presence and to really feel that connection. So if you want to do that, then you actually have to physically be in the community and you have to be doing things that are going to make an impact. So our answer to the brief was that we need to go and establish partnerships and we need to bring to the table what we as a brand have, and that is bread and that's food and that's nourishment. And we were able to do that during a really, really tough time for the communities who were especially hard hit by the pandemic. So when you looked at, and to summarize, I guess, our belief as a brand, an agency collective, it's that when you take hunger off the table, the possibilities are endless. And that's really the role we played, is to say, that's what we can bring as a brand. We can bring food and nourishment, and we can be one part of the journey towards the work that we know people are doing, but they can't do it if they're hungry.
That's awesome. And how was the campaign received not just from a client perspective, but also from the community that you're trying to reach out to?
It was exceptionally well received. You can't do something this big unless you have full client buy-in and full client support. And I remember us discussing it at a marketing level with our brand team, our marketing director, and getting onto a call with the local bakery in the area and saying, this is what we want. We basically want you to bake all of this whole wheat fresh bread, but we want you to give it to communities. So like we want you to actually go and give this bread away, because we feel that it's going to have a big impact, and it's really, really needed. And open arms, open hearts, willingness across the board. Everyone was like just super, super supportive, and really, I think, bought into the idea of what we were doing. From an impact point of view and from an actuals point of view, we were able to deliver over 23,000 loaves of bread to 7 schools and after-school programs and 7 community-based feeding programs. So if we put that down into numbers, that's 130,000 sandwiches that were served to nearly 5,000 beneficiaries. So when we talk about success, that is success. And then from a community level, I think to be seen and to be acknowledged and to be helped, I think all of those fosters meaningful relationships. So exceptionally well received across the board. I think that's obviously where the recognition comes in from the MMAs, is that it's the total sum of all parts.
Thank you so much for taking us through the amazing campaign. And as mentioned, the vodcast is all about inspiring fellow marketers. And to wrap things up, we want to sort of go off on an inspiring note. And so if there's one golden piece of encouragement you'd give fellow marketers out there, what would it be?
To me, it's the values we hold as a team, and then what we chat about when we are conceptualizing and then presenting work, is that if you're creating work and you feel comfortable with it and it feels safe, it's probably you haven't pushed yourself hard enough. If you are starting to feel discomfort and a little bit of fear, that means you're onto something worth pursuing. And you shouldn't be afraid to throw out the brief or to say to the client, look, interrogate things, push harder, because that's where true partnership lies. So don't be afraid. And when the butterflies are there, that's a good sign. And when you're feeling super comfortable, maybe you need to go back and relook that idea.
I love that. I love that. Jade, thank you so much for joining me on the group chat. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been Jade.
Thank
you. And for everybody watching right now, remember, push through. Don't forget to push the boundaries. And it is Smarties season. And so if you are watching this and you know that you've done an incredible campaign that is under the diversity and inclusion pillar of purpose-driven marketing, don't be shy. Enter that campaign. And we have a lot more other categories. And I want to encourage all marketers out there, don't be shy. Show off your work. You put so much blood, sweat, and tears into it. And so what's the worst that could happen? And we'd love to see some of your amazing work. And so just follow the link down below to go and enter for Smarties 2024, because we're going big. And I promise you, we're going big. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the first episode of the MMA Group Chat, the vodcast brought to you by the MMA Youth Board. I've been your host for the day, Anesu Malisa, aka the Black Sparrow. And until next time, we'll check you later. Talk to you later.